We're going to start now. And once again, welcome to the information session for the Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program. This is a time to answer your questions, a time to give you an overview of the program, and then just enlighten everyone on why you should apply and what to expect from your applications. All right, so we'll go right into why we're here without wasting any further time. I would welcome my colleague Famous, to give us an opening remark and then also give us an overview of the EdTech landscape in Nigeria. Famous.
Okay, thanks a lot, Frida. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you are doing okay. My name is Famous Ogaga. I'm the Learning Development Lead at Relearn the Education Practice of CcHUB. Once again, I would like to say welcome to each and every one of us that are here. So yeah, these are exciting times for us, in the EdTech space. Exciting times because, unlike other times, things right now are looking great, opportunities are coming, and again, it's an exciting time to be a stakeholder, to be a founder, to be someone in the EdTech space that is building innovative EdTech solutions, looking at improving the quality of education that we have on the continent. So yeah, so to kick things off, I would just like to show some quick statistics on education in Nigeria. So please, can you help me move the slides, Frida? Okay. Now, I believe that some of these things, they are not new to us, since again, many of us are, all of us, we build in the EdTech space. According to the International Center for Investigative Reporting, Nigeria's allocation to education within the federal budget has consistently decreased since 2015, right? You would think that for a country like ours with a growing population, right, that education, which is one of the most important aspects of nation building, right, you would think that our allocation to education would be increasing. However, what we have noticed, what we have seen, is a decrease in allocations for education. So despite, like I said, despite our growing population and the increased demand for education, if you take a look at the great countries of the world, you would realize that education is the driving force for growth and development of every country. So if you are going to get it great as a country, education is one area where we should be focusing on. And then according to UNESCO, Sub-Saharan Africa, with which Nigeria is a great, a big aspect of, will need 15 million teachers, right, to achieve quality education by 2030. Nigeria alone, we have, I think our population right now, over 230 million people, right? So this means that a major chunk of these 50 million teachers will be coming out of Nigeria. Now, before the COVID-19 pandemic, 1 in 3 teachers in every region, in this region, Sub-Saharan Africa, lacked minimum required qualifications to teach effectively in the classroom. So what this means is that, one, if you look at 3 teachers, right, for every 3 teachers you see, just 1 is qualified enough to be in the classroom, equipped with the right skills, methodologies, and, resources that they need to effectively teach and train their students. So this already shows to us that there's a need, right? There's a need for building innovative EdTech solutions, that is a need for, building quality solutions. Now, Nigeria, like I said, is one of Africa's biggest, economies, right? So technically what that means is that many of the things that affect us in Nigeria, again, is reflective of what is happening in Sub-Saharan Africa. So some of the issues that we are faced with, right, that education in Africa is faced with, we have structural issues, things like low fiscal spending on education, like I've said, especially in Nigeria, low teacher to student ratio. So we have situations where you have 1 teacher teaching over 100 students, depending on the kind of school that you went to, lack of investment in infrastructure, outdated curriculum. This is 2024, and you still see funny examples, right? In textbooks, you will still see, I think I came across a textbook of recent that said, oh, uses of the parts of the body, head to carry load. This is 2024. why do we still have resources like this? Why do we still have solutions like this that are not relevant, that cannot improve, the quality of education and the quality of learners that we have currently in our classrooms? So these are some of the realities that we are faced with. High dropout rates, again, increasing, lack of connectivity and low smart device penetration, right? We still have spaces where, a school without one computer device, right? So people learning in this digital age where we have digital natives, people already, children who can already use smart devices from a very tender age. We still have people who cannot even operate a computer mouse, who cannot even, engage, use a computer effectively, not to talk of using the computer to learn. Then we also have, trends like learning loss as a result of conflicts and epidemics, unengaged learners and poor learning outcomes. Again, now this is so if you take a look at the WAEC, WAEC performance, if you take a look at JAM performance, all of these things, they keep showing that there's a huge need, right, for building EdTech resources. Now, this opportunity, right, I mean, for every challenge presents an opportunity, right? So while we can see all of these things as challenges, one of the things that it shows to us and one of the things that it exposes is the fact that these are areas where we can create thriving, EdTech solutions that can go ahead to solve our most pressing problems in Africa, improving student learning outcomes. Take, for example, we talked about, low teacher to student ratio, right? By the time we start to create, effective EdTech solutions and resources, right, that can equip teachers with the right skills to go into the classroom to engage students, we'll begin to see, again, it becomes a lucrative business. It becomes something that people want to venture in. People, again, being a school teacher is not something that is now relegated and people want to come in. Students want to learn, which will, of course, improve the turnout of performance that we can see in classrooms. So it is not just enough to say, right now we have fantastic EdTech products, right? What makes a fantastic EdTech product? It is not enough to say, I have this particular product that can do X, Y, Z. Let's build elements. Let's continue to build learning management system, or let's continue to build, products that are not exactly meeting the needs of learners that we have, in the country at the moment. So it is one thing very, very important that in looking at the landscape, right, and in looking at how we are producing EdTech solutions, the key thing, the driving factor should be, how do we want to improve on the quality of learning outcomes that we can see in every Nigerian classroom? I think that is the best way for us to position ourselves. So in building our solutions, the goal should be, how can we ensure that Africa, and by extension, sub-Saharan Africa, is able to produce, personnel, professionals who can compete on the global scale. Students that can read at the age of 5, students that can read, students who do not get to GSS1, and that is when they want to start learning foundational numeracy and literacy, right? How do we ensure that the product and the solutions that we are coming up with, that these solutions are the solutions that we help, our students solve our most pressing problems in the continent of Africa? It is one thing to say we have a lot of problems, right? But it's another thing to look and say, these problems provide an opportunity for us to create thriving solutions that can go ahead to help us improve on the quality of education in the continent. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Akin. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Famous. That was really insightful. Now, to take us further into understanding the overall vision for the program is the head of startup support or CcHUB, no other person, Akin Suliri.
Thank you, Freda. And I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you join us for this call today. Thank you for your interest in being part of the next cycle of the Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program. And we really want to welcome you as an organization, saying welcome to CcHUB. Just a little bit of background or information about CcHUB. You perhaps might have seen it on our website when you got information. CcHUB has been around for about 14 years now. We started out as, an innovation hub out of Lagos with the passion to accelerate the application of social capital and technology in really accelerating economic prosperity across Africa. And since about 14 years ago that we started out at the famous 6th floor in Yaba, we've expanded beyond just Lagos to 3 other centers in Nigeria. And most importantly, we now have active physical office operations in Kenya, in Rwanda, and also in Namibia. And over the years, we've been able to support actively, at least 1,100 startups who can, trace their roots to CcHUB. Either they started out by being part of our innovation challenges or incubation programs or acceleration programs. But these are people or startups that we've actively supported. And beyond supporting these startups, we've also enabled the startups to create key impacts, like providing direct jobs and indirect jobs, for people, not just in Nigeria, but across the continent. And notably among, what we've also done over this past years is that through our own fund, we've invested over $10 million into different startups that are now within our portfolio. And we've also supported these startups to be able to access over $150 million as external funds, that they've raised for their business. And of course, we have a very strong, thriving community, both community of investors, community of technology enthusiasts who are always willing, to support all the various works that we are doing, right? So once again, I would like to welcome you, to CcHUB. So speaking about the EdTech fellowship program, Famous have, done a good job in really attempting to help us appreciate the challenge that we face on the continent when it comes to education. And one of the big goals of Mastercard Foundation, which resonates with us at CcHUB, is that desire to use technology to really create more access, to quality education, to create access to equitable education, to leverage technology to enhance learning outcomes for students who are learning across our various learning institutions. And that's what has brought about the solid collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and CcHUB. One of the major areas that we're really very passionate about as an organization is education. And we have an education practice that has been set up almost about 80 years ago, equipping teachers with tools, with techniques, with approach that will help them better create impact within the classroom, right? We have different solutions already within our education practice. We have, a full subsidiary that is dedicated to creating different solutions. So just to tell you a bit of the work that we are already doing in our education ourselves, before Mastercard Foundation, with the big objective of improving learning outcomes, actually, came on board to partner with us. So we're really excited about this. And through this partnership, we've been able to, create a first of its kind accelerator program aimed at really backing innovative solutions within the education space in Nigeria as well as in Kenya, to accelerate their growth and create meaningful impact, across the continent. So for this program, we've had the first cohort. Of course, this is the second cohort. We had 12 startups in the first edition, 12 in Nigeria, 12 in Kenya, for the first edition. They've gone through the acceleration program. They've had their demo day. And of course, I'm really excited that we have two of the co-founders here who will also be sharing highlights of how the program has impacted them. They'll be speaking, at the due time. So essentially, when you think about the program and you're asking what kind of solution, are we really looking for? The answer to that is that we are actually looking for brilliant innovators with groundbreaking solutions that revolutionize the way we learn from early childhood. You think about K-12 to corporate learning, to informal skills training, to school management systems itself. So we're really very open to different innovative solutions across board. In as much your solution is innovative and your solution is contributing to enhancing the quality of education, enhancing the quality of instruction delivery, enhancing the way we are able to track and assess that students are actually learning and they are constantly improving as far as learning outcome is concerned, we invite you, to apply. So think about the entire spectrum. Either what you're doing is for primary school or for secondary school, that's the K-12, or what you're doing is for tertiary institutions, or you have a formal skill platforms, or you're even building something unique, that's around augmented reality or virtual reality, for whatever cadre, just go ahead and apply. We're happy to receive your application. And one of the key things, that you should also note about your application is don't think about an idea, don't think about the product. The product is not important, it's not relevant. Don't be the judge in your case. The most important thing is, do you have something good for the education ecosystem? Please go ahead and apply. In terms of the benefits that you get on the program, first is the equity-free funding that everyone that is selected for the program actually assess. So once you get on board on the program, you don't need to now qualify to receive this. Once you get on board, you automatically qualify to receive this $100,000 equity-free funding. And it is as it is. It is equity-free, right? There is no percentage of your shareholding that is, equity that is being demanded for it. It's equity-free. And with this fund, we expect that you are able to further build out your solution. Either you want to get experts, internal experts, that will help you develop your solution, or you want to, leverage the fund to drive some marketing campaigns. But we expect that whatever support you get in the course of the program, you have the funds to even build out and carry out some of those recommendations from our experts. Then, of course, you have access to our experts. We have individuals that, were actually hired to dedicate, their time to providing support to the startups on this program. So we have expert advisors across learning science, across product development, across marketing and sales, helping you with your distribution, with talent management, helping you look into your finance, corporate governance, as a startup. And we have putting together the entire team that are supporting just the EdTech, fellows alone. We have about an expert team of about 32, that are actively supporting the EdTech startups on this program. So it's a big deal. If you're able to get on the program, you have access to all of those people who are able to coach you, mentor, and hold you, as you build your solution. Then in addition to our internal experts, you also have access to external experts who are founders of, notable founders of startups that in the ecosystem, experts in the ecosystem who are able to provide, tailored advice and mentoring to you on the program. Then we have a very strong community, with which you can actually test out some of your solutions. I mean, part of the assets that we have, having been working in the education space for over 8 years, is that we have very strong community of practice. When you think about it from teachers' angle, you think about it even from parents' angle, right? We have very strong community of people who can test out your solution and provide first-hand feedback to you as you build and innovate on your solution. So these are some of the benefits that you get. Then, of course, you have access to investors. We have a very vibrant network of investors. For those that don't know, we have a fund ourselves, and we also actively provide pipeline to other investors in the ecosystem who are looking to invest, both local investors and foreign investors who actively, work with us to identify, prospective startups that they get to invest in. So part of the benefit that you get on this program is the exposure to this strong community, this strong network of investors. So I would like to encourage everyone that are on this call today, and if you have a solution or you know individuals that have amazing solutions for education technology, please encourage them to be a part of this. The call for application is now open, and it's going to be closing sometimes early in February. So please don't delay at all. Get on it and start your application. And if you need specific guidance or you have specific question, down the line in this session, we're still going to take your questions. So please feel free. You can either drop them in the chat, or have a number of my team members who are on the call right now who will be tracking your questions and your concern as you share them. So thank you, everyone. Good to have you join us today with the intention of wanting to learn more, about the program. And I'm going to be handing over to my colleague, Benga, who is going to be sharing with you some of the key requirements and the selection process for the program. Over to you, Benga.
All right. Thank you so much, Akin. And good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here speaking to everyone on the call today. And I'm very excited about this opportunity, and I'm sure you should be excited as well. I will just pick it up from where Akin stopped. He mentioned that we should apply, right? And that's very key. But I think it's very important as well that you apply well, right? Beyond just applying, you need to apply well. And that is what I'll be dealing with. That's what I'll be talking more about. How can you apply well? How can you be putting the best application and improve your chance of being selected into the program? Because as you rightly know, ultimately it's going to be 12 startups that will be selected, and it's very competitive. Last year we had about 1,000 applications, which we eventually selected just 12. That means it's very important that you take your time to put in the best of application and improve your chance. So that's what I will be talking about here, so that you can improve that chance of being selected. In terms of the process of selection, so
while Benga is trying to get back on the call, I'm sure that was due to an internet glitch. It's very important to note that as you put out your application, there are critical things that we look at. When you're thinking about your solution, you need to think about it from the angle of what kind of problem are you solving, right? Because when we are assessing your application, we're going to be thinking about it from the angle of, if you say that this is a problem that you're solving, how is your solution actually solving this problem, right? So that's a very critical element to look at. Welcome, Benga.
Yeah, I think I was thrown out. I'm back. Apologies for that. So I was talking about the application that is important for the first stage. So when you look at the application form, there are different sections of the application form when you eventually open it. And for those that have already opened the application form, you would have interacted with those sections. The first section is general information, where we ask about the basic information about yourself, about your startup, which we expect that you put in the accurate and valid information, especially, for example, your email address and your phone number. Then there is another section of the question that speak about your product. And this is where it gets exciting rather, and that's where you have to pay very close attention. Now, the first screening criteria speak about the problem fit of your solution. Now, when you look at the application form, you will observe that there's a problem section asking you about what problem are you solving, right? That means we expect you to be able to put together a valid problem, right? What do I mean by valid problem? A problem that is within the education and a problem that is realistically solvable by technology. So we need you to be able to concisely and precisely summarize that problem statement within that for that section of the application. Also, we will be asking you about the solution, right? What solution are you building? And we expect you to also concisely describe the solution. How does it solve the problem you've identified, right? And how important is that solution you are bringing to the market? And for us, we need you to emphasize on the efficacy of that solution, driving and improving any outcome, right? So when we talk about problem fit solution, we want a valid problem that solves problem for Nigeria market, for example. the market you are targeting, and how fitted is your solution? Is it realistic? Is it what's the efficacy of that solution driving and improving learning outcome? Is very important. Funders potential. Now, before I get to funders potential, so the first is general information, followed by product information that asks you about the problem, about the solution, right? Then we talk about the traction as well. We expect you to put in accurate number, especially for a user, active user, right? And of course, your revenue number as well. Where applicable, you need to put it in naira form. The next screening criteria is the funder's potential. Now, for us, it's very important that you have people with experience and background to be able to execute on the solution you are building, right? So we expect to be able to articulate the profile, a very summarized profile of the founder, right? Emphasizing their background, educational and professional background that makes them the best fit to really execute on the idea and the solution you've described in your application. So for us, we are looking at that potential. Can this set of people really execute and scale the solution? So you must be able to demonstrate through that profile that you're summarizing how this set of persons that you have, founder, the key team, can execute that solution. Business model fit. Now, I know you're going to be describing your solution. You must be able to also describe what hints on what kind of business model you're operating, because in the course of your application, we are going to give you options to select what business model you are working with. Is it business to business, B2B? Is it business to corporate, to customer, that's B2C? Is it business to government, right? So you must be able to know what category you fit in and select the appropriate category. Of course, structure, I've mentioned it. We need accurate number, please, because essentially, we are still going to verify those numbers. So you will do us good if you give us the accurate number in terms of revenue and active users. So that's the first very critical stage, because that first stage will even determine if you're going to make it further into the selection process. Then, of course, the next stage, we also want to see how scalable is your solution. And for us, right, there's a place where you need to upload your pitch deck. We're still going to show you the key checklist that we start improve your chance as well. So in your pitch deck, we understand that you will talk about your go-to-market strategy. And there we want to be sure that you have a product that's really scalable, right? How are you able to convince us that based on your go-to-market strategy and based on the business model you're operating, is your solution scalable? So it must be expressly shown in your pitch deck, as the case may be. Of course, your long-term vision, we would love to see that as well expressed in your pitch deck. What is your plan for the next couple of years, 2-3 years, right? And for us, it must be something that resonates with the objective of the program, which is how can we leverage technology to improve learning outcome across Nigeria, right? So you must be able to resonate with us in that regard in terms of your long-term plan. Of course, competitive advantage. As I rightly mentioned, there are a lot of solutions out there. You also need to show us how distinguished is your product, right? How differentiated is what you're doing, right, to hold that solution. So there must be that explicit differentiation. I believe that will be expressed in your pitch deck as well, right? Team potential. Again, we need to see that you have teams that are capable of solving this problem. So these are the things that we are assessing you based on, right? It's very transparent. We want to be sure you're scalable. You have long-term plan of scaling your solution to improve learning outcome across Nigeria. You are very competitive and differentiated. You have capable team to execute. Now, if you successfully demonstrate this in your application, and we can see that in screening and assessment, then you can make it to the interview stage. And basically, you've done a good job if you can get to the interview stage. And at that interview stage, that's where we would be having the conversation with you to better resonate with your vision as a founder, allow you to express a vision in person. And of course, we also be doing some level of due diligence. All those numbers that you claim you have, we will be taking an extra measure to verify those numbers. And of course, as we would be informed, and I will mention down the line, is in terms of eligibility, we are very keen on products that are incorporated in Nigeria. So as part of due diligence, we also be verifying, are you really a business incorporated in Nigeria? We also be verifying, are you really a business that your primary market in terms of primary user are Nigeria? And of course, verifying the users, verifying the founders as well. So these are brief summarized explanation as to what the selection process looks like. Yeah, so I will talk briefly on the eligibility criteria now. So first thing I need you to understand is this program is focused on solutions that are incorporated in Nigeria. right? That means that you are duly registered with Nigeria, the respective authority. CAC, for example, you are incorporated with CAC and you are domiciled in Nigeria. Also, this program is for solutions that are their primary market are Nigerians, right? Your users, basically, they are Nigerians. Of course, that doesn't mean you don't also serve other markets. Your secondary market could be global, right? In fact, we expect that through the program, you're also exposed to global users, but your primary market are Nigerians. Also, you must have MVP. That means you already launched your product. Your product is already in the market, and people are already using it, right? Please, next slide. Okay, nice. So how do you craft a compelling application? So these are the things that I was referring to. The first thing is you need to put in the correct information about your company, right? Because the first section is general information, and if you don't give us an accurate information, it's going to be very hard for us to move it forward in the application process. So where are you incorporated? We expect that you're incorporated in Nigeria, but if you are not incorporated in Nigeria, still please give us accurate information about where you're incorporated. Your team size. We ask question about how many persons do you have? Please, we need you to be very accurate, as I said, with that number. Of course, your revenue as well. We deliberately request that you supply your revenue number in Naira form, right? So that you don't have the problem of converting it to dollar. But we need you to be very accurate with that number as well. Product description. Now, this is where it's also very exciting. I know some people have reached out to us and said, okay, the character is still limited, it's too limited, and all those things. The reason is this. We don't need you to give us an epistle, but we only require that you are very summarized. Just go straight to the point, right? In a very articulate form, what exactly is your product, right? What is your company about? Emphasizing the value you are bringing to your user, right? Describing your product and how is it valuable to the user? How is it important to the users that you are serving? So it's very summarized with 100 or thereabout word, you are fine. Character, you are fine. Users and market. Of course, we want to be clear as to who pays for your product. So there's a section where we need you to describe who are the people using your product. So you may ask, who are the users? Is there a difference between user and customer? Basically, your customer could be your users. In some cases, your customer are not your users, right? I'll give you a clear example. In cases where you are being financed, like the payers for your product are NGO, for example. Users could be schools, could be individual students, but someone else is paying for it, right? So you must be able to explicitly explain this, right? These are my users. Are they K to 12 persons? Are they in formal sector? Are they just explain them, right? And also be clear. Your user also the one paying for it? Are they the customer? So the customer are people that pays for it. The users are the people that uses it, right? In some cases, users are also customers. So be clear about that. Your solution, of course, I rightly mentioned, your solution must be connected to the problem. You shouldn't have a different problem and separate solution. There must be that problem solution fit while you're explaining your solution. And of course, we would also require you to provide us with the link to your product, right? Product demo, right? And we beg of you that you ensure that the link you provide is accessible, is not restricted, because we see cases where people supply us with, let's say, for example, a Google link that you require permission to access, right? Please ensure that the link you supply for your product, your pitch deck, your demo are all accessible. They are not restricted. They are functional. For the video, we require unlisted YouTube, right? Video. 1 minute is fine to just explain what product are you building, what are the key features of your product. That's all, right? We don't need so much story. We don't need so much story. For the financials, we need accuracy. That's the attraction. Accurate users, accurate number in terms of revenue. Your theme, of course, I've mentioned this. We need you to just explain who are the team, your funders, your key management team, but of course, you need to show to us that they have the relevant experience, they have the relevant background to execute what you are set to build or what you are building, as the case may be. So pretty much that's a very summarized version. We understand that you might have 1 or 2 questions eventually on this. Probably you need some clarity. We are always here to respond to that. But this is a very summarized version of what we need you to do. If you are able to do this very well, you stand a better chance of being considered, right? You solve the problem of we don't understand what you put in. It's not really relevant. Once you're able to answer this question correctly, you stand a better chance of being considered for the program. So that's that on that.
Thank you so much, Benga. This was really interesting, just hearing you provide answers and clarity on how to apply. The next on the agenda is we're going to hear from our Cohort 1 founders. These are founders who went through the Cohort 1 phase last year, and now they're here to share their experiences from the program and also share some tips on how you can also apply for Cohort 2. I have Titilope Adewusi, the founder of Niger Kids. Hi, Titi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Titi. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Oluwaseun Kayode, who is also the founder of Schoolinka.
Hi, Frida. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sure everyone can. Well, good to have you here. So we're just going to ask you a few questions so everyone here can also learn more about your journey through the program. So I want you to share some of the major benefits that you enjoyed from just being a part of the program. So I'll start with you, Titi.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And I think this is a fantastic fellowship to join. So I'll say to everybody, make sure you apply and do applications well. So when it comes to the benefits, the way I would look at it is I would say, think of everything you want for your EdTech company. You know, whether it's funding, whether it's network, whether it's advice in terms of HR, advice in terms of talent, advice in terms of your product distribution. If you can think of everything, then just know that all those things are covered under the Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellowship. So it is, you know, for me, very complete, very holistic. 3 things that stood out for me. I know some people will be thinking, it's the money because, you know, that's the main attraction. But I would say that wasn't even on the top 3 for me. The first thing that stood out for me was in terms of the learning science. We are all in this EdTech space, and it's important that you try and understand the science behind the learning. So that was really good for us as a team, and it was fantastic. I think the second one for me was in terms of distribution. And you know, distribution is a challenge that we all have in EdTech, at least in the Nigerian EdTech space. So just having people that would help, advise, encourage you, and even having a group of teachers that you can also, you know, use as can I say a launch pad for your testing and feedback on your product. That was also fantastic. The third for me would also be the network. Just having a number of, you know, EdTech, other EdTech founders that you can network with. We've all gone on to be good friends. You know that if you need this, you can talk to someone, and we're also exploring collaborations. That was really, really fantastic. And not just the ones in Nigeria, because the Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellowship, especially the one being done by CcHUB, you also get to meet, you know, other EdTech founders outside of Nigeria. So through this, you know, fellowship, I've also been able to connect with other EdTech fellows in South Africa. I connected with other EdTech fellows in Kenya, and that's also good. Just rubbing minds, see what's working there, what's not working here. These are our own challenges. Was also really fantastic. So for me, those are just some of the 3 key things that stand out. I would leave some for Seun to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you, Titi. That was very interesting. Seun, please highlight some of the benefits of the program.
Yeah, I think Titi has said a whole lot, if not all already, right? But I would say, so hello everyone again. I would say that I think the personalized nature of the program is really important to talk about. And I'll just share quickly, our own experience at Schoolinka joining the cohort. When we came into the program last year, we were at a point where we just tested our MVP. We had some proof of concept. We have used white labeled element solution to test what it means for teachers to learn online. However, we didn't have the resources to actually start building our own products, our own custom solution. And so for us, we were not at the same level with some other startups in the cohort who probably have a product already and are just looking to take it to the market and, scale it wide. And so for me, the way CcHUB and Mastercard Foundation were able to meet every startup at their different levels, for me, I think is something worthy of note. I think for us, we didn't feel like we were not on the same level with some startups in the program. We felt really supported, even at the level that we are at. We felt like we got what we needed at that point in time. So for us, we were really focused more on product development and learning science team. While some startups maybe were focused on distribution and, perfecting their communication and talent management. So I think the fact that it is personalized to each startup, to each founder, is very important for everybody to know. And this also shouting out the points to people who think that, oh, we're a small startup, we shouldn't apply yet, that you should apply. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by not applying, because the program can also still be beneficial to you at any level. Another thing I would like to mention is product development support. So if you all know, right, if you go to the market today and you're looking for talents to help you build an EdTech product, it's usually very challenging, because you can easily find someone who will build a fintech app or an app that helps with mobility, like your Uber and Taxify. But it's very challenging to find people who would help you build education products, people who do the designs in a way that it will be more appealing to the education ecosystem. And so for us during the program, we're able to interface with experts. We had someone on the team from CcHUB who's always like following up weekly with our product team to guide the product development, to ensure that our designs are great, to make sure that whatever it is we're building really works well. We had support with the learning science team, working with our own learning team in-house to ensure that the course content that we're creating for educators, for teachers, definitely meets the skill gaps. And I think this is really, really helpful for us, or was very helpful for us. And I think that even beyond the fellowship, we've ended the fellowship one way, but we still have opportunity to have conversations with members of the team. So it's like a community that keeps going even after the fellowship. So I think these are like two things I would like to mention after what Titi said.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the next question I'll ask is to talk about your application process. I'll ask Sheung first. Can you just share insights into your application process? How was it like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, just like I think Binga was sharing before, right, about the characters in the application form, right? For me, I felt that way as well when, we started applying and you're like, just few characters. I'm like, guys, I have an epistle in my head. I need to drop all these ideas in my head so that you guys know what we are talking about. But I think the fact that those characters were limited were very helpful for me as well, to be able to, as a good entrepreneur, right, one thing you should be able to do is to do it short and do it long, right? So it helped me really be able to refine what is it that we're doing really, and be able to say it in few words. So I think the application process itself is also a training process, for me as well, just to be able to understand the solution we're bringing to the market better and be much more clear on what, we're bringing. But I feel like, the application really, if there's something, I mean, Benga already shared it, with everybody, but I think if there's something that, is really important for founders to highlight, really is the problem you're solving and how your solution fits that problem. I think, truth be told, I never thought we were going to be selected. That's me in all honesty, right? I never knew Schoolinka would be selected, because I mean, I'm like, oh, when the selection comes out now, you see the big names in EdTech that we know that will be there, right? And so for me, Schoolinka being selected just shows the fact that, CcHUB, Mastercard Foundation are very peculiar about looking through the application and seeing the genuineness of the application, the authenticity of the founders, the originality, and how, they are solving real problems in the education ecosystem. So I think if you're able to figure out, your problem solution fits, you know, you will definitely have done maybe half of the work already. I also think that, you know, showing traction to an extent as well is very important. Like, have you been able to test your solution somewhere? Have you gathered some data that says, okay, what you're doing makes sense? Have you spoken to potential users? I mean, in whatever form that you've tested your product, I think is very, very important. You don't have to have done something on a big or large scale, right? You know, just show traction that, of course, this thing has been validated by some other people that it makes sense. I think these are, like, you know, things that are important to spotlight. I'm just like mentioning that in addition to what Minka already said, but I'll also stop here for Titi to also be able to share. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Titi, go ahead.
Thank you, Sheon. I think I will start by saying, you know, it was tough, especially if you've not, you know, applied for something before. So it wasn't easy. It requires time. So maybe I would drop my first tip here and say start early. You know how sometimes you're waiting to the last moment. I think I started, and then just the sheer number of questions and all the things that they wanted just overwhelmed me. And you know, it is, I went away and packed it for a while. And then before I knew it, it was the deadline. I'm sure that I had to do an all-nighter to complete it just before the deadline. So my first tip to everybody that is listening is, honestly, the questions were, you know, quite a lot and quite in-depth. So it would need to start early. But one of the things I like about the application is that it allows you to look at a lot of things that you're not looked at. So for everybody that is doing the application, I would say get a Word document. Already, you know, do it in a Word document, answer it, so that even if you don't get selected in this cohort, you kind of have your goals for the next 1 year, you know, so that you can then be part of the, you know, the next year's cohort. So I would recommend that everybody applies. So just so that you can also see what's expected, you know, of a company, from your founders to the traction to the business model. So whatever it is that you're doing now, I'll just say, you know what, take your shot, apply. What's going to happen is that it will also give you a bit of focus. I think, and that's what it did. And with each application that you apply, that's what happens. It gives you focus on what are all the things that you need to be doing. How do you define traction? That revenue model, we all need to do it, but we never get around to doing it. So it was one of those things that kind of forces your hand to do a lot of things. You know, talk about the founders behind it. What do you all need to do? Because sometimes when you're also answering the question, you begin to realize, okay, I don't have this. And truly, this is an area that I need to work on. So it wasn't easy. It took time. So don't underestimate the time it's required for you to put together some of the information that's required. I remember when I completed the application, I think it was like a week or two later, they even sent another set of emails asking for another batch of information. I was like, this information is going to take me a whole day just to pull it out from wherever this information is, you know, because sometimes the information that you have, they're all in bits and pieces scattered, or they're just in your head. So I would say that the application process was a real good process of trying to put you together as an EdTech, put your goals together, and also let you know what real investors are looking for. So my advice for everyone that is listening, my advice would be, even if you think you're not ready, still go ahead and apply, so that you kind of have an idea of the things that you need to do to be ready for the future one, even if it's not this Mastercard Foundation EdTech Fellow. It could be any other one being done, you know, being administered by CcHUB. Just get yourself ready would be my advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Titi. Thank you so much, Sheon, for coming on board to share. And thank you for the tips that you have given to our attendees. It's so interesting just hearing you talk about the fellowship program and how it was for you. And I'm excited that you guys are now done and new people can come on board. All right, it was great having this chat with you. We look forward to, you know, talking further outside this.
We wish everyone all the best, but please, you know, do apply and put your best foot forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Titi. Thank you so much, Sheon. It was great having you guys around. All right, everyone, we're going into our frequently asked questions. So throughout the course of the program, from cohort 1 and even now, we usually get questions from people to say, I want to learn more about the program and I want to also get answers to these particular questions that I have. So we've been able to curate these questions and I will be providing answers to them. However, at the registration point for this info session, you were all asked to share questions that you wanted to ask. So that would also be answered on this call. And if you have any question, maybe from the conversation, please make sure that you put them on the question and answer box. So while you're logged on Zoom here, you see a Q&A box. Please put all your questions in that box because they can be, consumed in the chat. All right, so let's put them in the Q&A box so we can take note of them during the call. All right, so the first question that we have here is, what is the program about? As you already know, the Mastercard Foundation is partnering together with CcHUB to address learning challenges. So the goal of this program is to look deeper into the education ecosystem and see the areas we can be able to create tangible solutions to educational problems. And this is where the program comes in. We want to be able to identify innovators, we want to be able to identify key players who are already creating those solutions or who already have started work in that direction, and then amplify their work, right? So the accelerator program will support and amplify the impact of 36 startups, EdTech startups in Nigeria over 3 years. So the first cohorts, my colleague already mentioned before now, that we had 12 EdTech startups that were selected for the first cohort. For this cohort, we will have another 12 EdTech startups that will be selected. And in the next cohort, which is cohort 3, we will have another 12 EdTech startups. That's making it 36, meaning that the program will run for a course of 3 years, right? So this is just an overview of the program. So the next question also says, who should apply to the program? We're looking for brilliant innovators. So like I mentioned, while answering the first question, I said, we're looking to amplify the work that is being done by innovators in the education space. So people who are building innovative solutions, people who are already creating groundbreaking ideas to tackle EdTech challenges. These are the people that we're looking out for, from early childhood to corporate education. You have a chance through the program to be able to amplify your work and to be able to talk more about your solution. All right, next slide, please. Okay, what are the entry requirements? So Benga had mentioned in the course of explaining your selection process and your application process, in addition to being Africa focused, your company needs to be incorporated in Nigeria. So the program for this cohort and all the cohorts are specifically focused on solutions in Nigeria. So your company has to be incorporated in Nigeria. You need to have verifiable users. So we don't want people who come on to say that they have users, but they're invincible. So we want you to be able to prove to us that you have people who are actually using your product. And then we want that your product is also aligned with the accelerator's focus areas. So what we're trying to do is amplify EdTech solutions that can tackle educational challenges. And so we need to be sure that your product is not just any product, but product that can actually, that's actually in alignment with what we're looking out for and the objective of the program. We're also looking for inclusive teams. So yes, we strongly advise and we strongly recommend that female founders should apply for the program, right? We want to also see some gender balance. Is there a female co-founder? Is it all female-led? Is it a female-led company? Or is there some sort of female leadership or inclusivity in your company, right? We want to really, really see that. What are the accelerators' focus areas? This program, okay, so the focus areas for the accelerator is, so we have startups who are leveraging technology. Either you're leveraging technology or you're already a technology company as it is. So if you're tackling challenges from across K to 12, formal, informal skills, these are the solutions that we're looking out for. These are the focus areas that we're looking out for. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are the questions that we're going to be responding to here. I would also call on my colleague Benga to come on, and as he will be taking other questions that you have shared when you were registering. Benga?
Yeah, thank you so much, Frida, for all those insights as to what we expect. So we will be projecting shortly, Frida will project shortly those questions that were sent in. So we first going to address the questions that were shared earlier on while you're applying, then we will as well respond to those questions that you drop in the chat box. So Frida is going to project those questions shortly. But feel free to drop additional question that you might have in the question and answer box while we wait for those questions earlier sent to be projected.
Okay, so we have the questions up on the screen.
These are the questions that were shared in the course of the application. So the first one, what does traction mean to your theme? Can you quantify it? When is the application deadline? So the first thing, for us, traction, of course, those quantitative things. So if you see during the application, you will see that we are specific. We ask for active users, right? That's the first level of traction. We also ask for revenue, right? So those are the traction, right? Your users, your revenue, those are the basic traction that you would see us ask in the course of the application. Yeah. So the next question asks probability of being chosen, necessary information that will make me most likely to be choosing. I know we've addressed that already, so there's no point dwelling much on that. We've spoken about the fact that your problem must be very valid and you've concisely expressed what problem you're solving and solution you're building, and shows efficacy of that solution to improve learning outcome, right? And of course, other things around your theme as well. I will still come to that later, but we've talked more about what can improve your chance of being selected. Number 3, how to make an absolute skill acquisition program and empowerment on business innovation. How to make an absolute skill acquisition program. So I believe this is the idea that you are pushing for, you're solving. Yeah, I mean, so far you can show that what you're doing in terms of skill acquisition program helps to drive learning outcome for that your target user. We understand that, see, as Freda rightly mentioned, there are different levels of education, right? Different users. So we have K to 12, we have early child education, we have informal, we have formal, right? Yours could be informal. So you must be able to show us that those set of persons you are targeting with your solution, it's whatever solution you are building, help them to improve their learning outcome ultimately. Whatever information you are communicating on your platform, it's eventually effectively communicated to a set of persons. So irrespective of what level of education, be it formal, be it informal, be it vocational training, you must be able to show to us that your solution help them improve their learning outcome. Yeah, and of course solves a problem, and that's it. So number 4, must I present a website for my business before I proceed to application? As you know, it's an EdTech solution, meaning that firstly, of course, education focus. Secondly, it's technology, right? And the barest minimum is that you have a website, right? While I understand that some might have in challenge, probably you don't have a website, you've not launched. I will suggest, right, that you embed, you put there the link, the accessible link to your product demo if you don't have a website yet. So in case you don't have a website yet that you can use for your application, because one of the compulsory questions, if you have noticed, if you don't have the link to your website yet, you can drop the link to your product demo that shows your product. Yeah, but we prefer that you have a website. I mean, you are, at least as you say, you are post MVP, so we expect that you have something out there. Number 5 question said, I'm yet to complete the application form because the company website will soon develop my questions. Can you allow me to complete my application where the website is? So as I rightly mentioned, put your demo link in that website question, right? Again, the best case is that you have your website. Number 6, what is a good application, please? We've spoken about what makes a good application already. Number 7, what comment is that the space given, okay, the space given to describe business as startup is sufficient and gives opportunity. Again, we understand you have a lot to say, right? But we also understand that there are certain important information that you allow you. So please and please summarize what you have. Just go straight to the point. Speak to the value you are communicating to your user, the problem you are solving, and the connection between the solution and the problem. So summarize. The same goes to your team, right? Their background, education background, their professional background, the relevancy to what solution and what makes you the best place to execute that solution. The next question says, what can I use in place of com URL because we are here to host our, again, I've responded to that. Use your link to your demo, right? How can I type a date of birth? I believe that could be a problem. Probably you're applying with your phone or with other gadgets, because I know people have successfully submitted their application. So it might be a technical issue based on the platform you're applying with. Maybe you can change your browser. Can non-profit apply? So ideally, we expect that you are a revenue-making solution, right? So a non-profit can apply, right? So far, you are a revenue-making solution. So at the right stage, we will determine if eventually you make the cut. But yeah, go ahead and apply. 11. Thank you for joining the Zoom meeting. Please, okay. All right. Because during their meeting, I understand I made a mistake. So there's one thing I would announce later. You can. So I know after this program, most people have now been informed on how best to apply and to put in the application. So we would say you can apply again, right? You can submit another application if you feel like you made error in your initial application, or you feel that your initial application does not best represent what you want to do. Feel free to apply to submit your application. Again, we have a time stamp and a date stamp. We will go with the most recent application. But we advise that you should try not to double apply. But in the case where you have to, yeah, please do. The next question, if your products are kids book, how would you be able to track your user, especially the kids share the product demo? Again, I believe that whatever product you are building, right? I mean, there are people that sign up for your platform. If it's kits, so if it's kit and book and it's offline, then probably this program is not for you, because this program is basically for a tech solution and this digital solution. So if you are purely offline and it's kit and book, most likely the program is not for you. But if it's a digital product, people are signing up for your product and you can see the activity. So you'll be able to know who are the users and how many are they. Do we need to always already have recurring revenue on a monthly basis to apply one revenue or service provided for the past 12 years? So if you notice, we didn't ask for the last 2 years. We only asked for the last 12 months, right? And of course, when we say the last 12 months can even be the last 1 month, right? We just say within the last 12 months. So it could be the last 6 months. So it depends on where you fall into. So we are not stipulating that it must be 12 months. I just say within the last 12 months. Please, someone who hasn't generated enough revenue yet, but has built an MVP, please, does this affect your chance of being selected? Again, it doesn't affect your chance of applying, but the lot of consideration that goes into selection, which I've mentioned. I mean, priority will be given to, most importantly, priority we prefer solutions that have users and of course making some revenue, right? But as again, that does not stop you from applying if you have not made, and again, it's subjective when you say enough revenue. As long as you're making revenue, please apply. Even if you're not making revenue, please still apply. You heard what Coyote mentioned the other time. So please don't let anything stop you from applying. No grief for anything to stop you. All right. So suggestion next time. So there's this suggestion next time, please put. So we understand. Thank you for your suggestion. We really appreciate that. What we have to say to that is this: we encourage solutions that are as well are inclusive, right? Meaning that your solution, one thing that is key for us as well, we want to also support solutions that consider people with disability, right? So we are very conscious of inclusivity. along that line when we are looking at solution that we support as well. So that is that for the present questions. So we would be going to the questions that dropped in the Q&A. Frida, did you want to pick them out and read it? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. So these are the questions. I will just go ahead and speak to them. Thank you for that, Frida. So the question, CcHUB is a mobile solution that streamline communication in university and connects business to a network of student creators to drive marketing campaign in campus community. How we qualify to apply for the EdTech solution? Also, if you have launched a product as a service without having launched an app with paying customer, does it count as a product usage? So again, ask yourself, right, the solution you are building, is it in any way help improve learning outcome for your users? Which I believe your users are learners, right? If the answer is yes, please go ahead and apply. So I won't give you a yes or no answer to this question. I will say you ask yourself, does your solution in any way help improve our learning outcome for your target users? So if your answer is yes, please by all means, please do go ahead and apply. In terms of if it's a web-based platform and not yet an app, yeah, please, it's still an EdTech really. Please do apply as well. Again, I said, don't let anything stop you in that sense. If you should still go ahead and apply. Yeah. Next question said, please can I edit my application because during the meeting I understand I made some mistake. So while you won't be able to edit the application, at least for this cohort, we encourage that you can at most submit 2 applications, right? At most, please, at most. And we would treat the most recent application because we have the date and timestamp on the application. We understand that you might get some insight from this call and you want to improve on your application. So please, we only have avenue for 2 application maximum, right? So please do go ahead and apply. Next question, is there going to be cohort 3? Absolutely. So it's a 3-year program. This is the second cohort. We are going to be launching the next cohort next year. Please watch out. The next question is the Mastercard Fellowship Program application. We are seeking to provide the website, but we are yet to host the website. Please can. Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned earlier on, if you don't have, we prefer that you have a website and you have you have an MVP, but if you don't, in lieu of that, I think you can still go ahead and put in your product demo link that is accessible. Then we will work with that and get back to you. This question has, can you talk about our team potential segment when you apply? Okay, although sharing is not on the application, but at least I work with the team that reviewed the application. We know what we look for, so I should be able to respond to your answer. So when we talk about team balance, when you're looking at team, I know we mentioned diversity, right? Balanced team in terms of gender inclusivity, but beyond that, we also want to be sure that you have balanced and robust team that can execute. Because you agree with me, no matter how amazing your product is, if you don't have team that can deliver, it's going to stall, right? So we want to have a team that, yeah, correct, sound product team, it's preferred. Sound tech team is preferred. Sound design team is preferred. But beyond that, there's a business side to your application as well, to your solution as well. So you must balance the technical and the business side. So if you have a lot of technical guys and you don't have someone that can get the product to the market, it's going to be a problem. So preferably you have sound technical team. I also have business minded team that can also sell whatever you're building. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Is refugee eligible to apply for the fellowship? Yeah, so for the fellowship, as I rightly mentioned, what is key for us is number one, is your company incorporated in Nigeria? Number two, is it serving Nigeria market as primary? Of course, we can also serve other markets secondarily. Are the funders available for the program? So if you're able to make yourself available in the course of the program, because of course it's a virtual program, but we also have physical meetup and engagements. So if you would be able to make yourself available physically in Lagos in the course of the program, yeah, please go ahead. And of course, it still doesn't stop you from applying, right? So, but those are the key considerations for us. You are able to make yourself available physically and online, as the case may be. And of course, you are a Nigerian registered business and you also serve primarily the Nigerian market. I am from Namibia. My startup is not incorporated in Nigeria. Does this mean you are not qualified for the fellowship? Unfortunately, for this particular program, you are not qualified. But of course, as you rightly know, CcHUB, we do a lot of programs. In fact, we are recently incorporated in Namibia. So we have a lot of amazing programs that you can still participate in, even if you can't participate in this current one. Current application questions only focus on funding team. For inclusive theme, does this mean a female on the funding team or on the operation team? So our focus, right, are on two themes. One, the funding team, and of course, the key management team. So when we talk about inclusivity, we are talking about, okay, your key management team, which include the founder and some top management, your C-level guys, like your CEO, CTO, CMO, every other C that you may say, or head of operation, head of anything. So when we talk about inclusive thing, we are referring to both the funding team and the key management team. Do I have to be in Lagos before I'm eligible? Would I be expected to relocate to Lagos to participate in the program? So the nature of the program is very hands-on, which will require that we hold some engagement that we require to be in Lagos. Yeah. So in that sense, we prefer someone that is available for those sessions. As rightly mentioned by Sheon Kayode, mentioned that these are personalized sessions. So while we'll be doing some online sessions, there are some sessions that will require you that you are physically available. Like, cases of testing your product with users, you have to be there, right? And some sessions for networking and all the other things that we do physically. So we prefer that the founder are available in Nigeria in the course of the program. Can I visit CcHUB for a demo and validation of my startup instead of the online demo? No. Please make a 1-minute video recording of how your product functions and upload. I believe you can do this. Imagine 1,000 people coming to our office to demo their product. It's not operationally efficient, right? And operational wise, it won't be advisable. So we advise that you make a short video of how your product works and upload. Currently, we offer in-school career guidance and counseling to secondary school students, and currently building a platform for courses that we help students choose the career seamlessly. Can we apply? Absolutely, you can apply, right? We understand that, say, across the spectrum and valuation of education solutions, there are different touch points, right? One of those is, okay, the early childhood, the K to 12, the secondary level, the formal, the informal. So as long as you're within those touch points, please do go ahead and apply. But what we need you to do is you need to be very concise in explaining what problem we will be solving for this target users, and how does what you're building solve it, and why are you different? How is it important? And in terms of deadline, the deadline is up there, 15th of February. That's the deadline for the application. So we pretty much, 17th of February rather, pretty much advise you as TT has advised. Please do go ahead and apply. And I'm going to give you some hints right now that will help you. As Titi mentioned, create a document, right? Create a document before you even start. There are two levels. The first level is just less than 10 seconds, you are done. You fill in your name, your email address, your valid phone number, then you are done with the first level. Then at that point, you can choose to proceed to the second stage where the main application is, or you check your email and you get the notification to proceed to the next stage. Now, what I'm going to advise you, this application takes less than 30 minutes, as long as you have the necessary information with you before you start. And these are the necessary information. As we rightly mentioned, we expect you to be able to concisely and precisely describe what problem you are solving. How is it valid? So once you are able to create a document that summarizes that in like less than 150 character or less than 200 character, you describe your solution, the efficacy of your solution in improving learning outcome. You're able to summarize the profile of your user. You have the link to your pitch deck ready. You already made your demo video and you have the link available. You have all those things ready, right? Once you have them ready, you just log in and we copy and paste. Within 30 minutes, you are done. Right. So please don't wait till 17th of February before you apply. If I were you, I'll focus on it this week and apply on time, because prayer at the last hour might make you forget a lot and probably make some mistakes. So thank you so much. I believe we've been able to do justice to all the questions. Are there other questions that we've not addressed in the question and answer box? Let me just go through. So let me go through. I think I saw a question on how long does the program last, and I know that has been addressed. is an 18-month program. The first 6 months is an hands-on support, core acceleration engagement, while the following 12 months is post-acceleration support that you enjoy. So I believe we've been able to do justice to the question. Frida, can you confirm?
Yes, Benga, we have. Check. There's one question here.
Okay.
Please check.
Okay,
and we'll take that one before we wrap up.
Okay, must you build and own the EdTech platform before you apply? For example, someone who teaches thousands of students on a tech platform that isn't owned, does the person fit to apply? Yes, you can apply, but you must be able to show, let's say your pitch deck or in the course of your application, that you have a roadmap in view, right? That shows how you want to transition from third-party platform to the one you own. Case in view, Kyle mentioned that he didn't own his platform when he applied, and in the course of the program was able to build his own platform and he owns it. So you must be able to express, I think preferably probably your pitch deck that shows your product's roadmap, that shows that although this is where you are, but this down the line, next 2 to 3 years, we want to own our own platform. How can I apply the proper application form? So the application form is already displayed here. You can see it on the screen. futureoflearning.cchub.africa. futureoflearning.cchub.africa. That is the link to apply with. Once you get there, you will see form that you will be able to use to apply. Do I have to be in Lagos before I'm eligible? I think I've responded to that already. I think we've pretty much touched base on. So how can I access the second form? I was only able to get one form in the link from the website. Once you fill the first form on the website and you supply the 3 less than 10 seconds question, once you fill that, the response at the last submission page will be the link to continue to the second form. In case you are not ready to continue the second form immediately, go to your inbox and you would get the link to go to the second form to apply. And also, I thought I saw a question as well that was saying that I already submitted my application. One thing, the confirmation, right, that you should be expecting once they're certified that you've successfully applied and submitted your application is you will get an email that acknowledge the submission of your application and also show you your responses to different questions that asked. So once you get that, that's a confirmation that you've successfully submitted your application for the program. So I think we have pretty much done justice to all the questions submitted. So thank you, everyone. And of course, we also have office hour. And I think Frida is going to tell you, we also have another info session coming up. We will tell you about that. In case you have other questions, you can always do that. And of course, if it's very critical question that you have, edtech@cchub.africa is our email address. You can always send us an email to ask your question as well. So thank you so much. Over to you, Frida.
Thank you so much, Benga. This was very interesting, and I'm very excited because we got a lot of questions answered today from the session. Thank you, everyone who has joined in so far. We expect that you'll be sending in your applications and you now have clarity to take your applications further. For those who still have office hours, you have your office hours booked, please make sure to also maximize the time that you have selected to speak with the teams and also get clarity on your application. Also, we have another info session just like this one that will be coming up on the 5th of February. This second info session is just to provide clarity, especially for those who got stuck in their application process, because February is the month where applications will be ending. So on the 17th of February, the deadline for application. So application will close on the 17th of February. So do make sure to maximize the time that you have right now and with all the information that you've gotten from this session to apply, make your application stand out. And also, if you're stuck one way or another, make sure to attend the second info session that we'll be having on the 5th of February. Now, if you can't wait till that time to be able to reach out, you can always reach out to us via email at edtech@CcHUB.Africa. That's our email address. It's edtech@CcHUB.Africa. There you can ask us questions. You can reach out to us if you have concerns, if you want to clarify something, and then we will provide you with all the required information and answers. So once again, we appreciate everyone for joining. We wish you good luck as you complete your applications and as you go further in building your EdTech solutions to solve challenges in Nigeria. Thank you everyone for joining. We have come to the end of today's info session. We look forward to receiving your applications. Thank you. Thank you.